This is Eileen Fee of Transform Your Body Fitness. I'm a physical therapist and a fitness coach. Now let's talk about, do you know? Do you know really how much protein your body really needs in one day? So many people, they're talking about, well, how much protein is in your shake? Or how much protein is in that protein bar? You know what? That is the wrong conversation, but that's the hype that everybody's bought into. What you need to actually be thinking in terms of, your body is made up of a collection of cells that are in your muscles, cells that are in different organs of your body. And did you ever know what your cells need? If your cells don't get what they need, they are not going to work properly, no matter if they're located in muscles or organs. You need to have enough, not too little, not too much, enough of what your cell needs to operate properly. And too many times people are just keying in on this protein conversation. You know what the reality is? The reality is you need a lot less protein than you think you need. Did you know that you actually only need between 5 and 15% of all the total calories that you eat in one day that are going towards protein? That's all you need as far as your protein requirement. 5 to 15% out of 100% of what you're trying to do in a day's time of what you're putting into your mouth. Now, what that kind of means is that protein is one macronutrient. You need to take a look at what are the other things cells need. You know what else they need? They need some fats, essential fatty acids. They need about 2 grams approximately of the omega-3 fatty acids and approximately 10 grams of the omega-6 fatty acids. But so many of us are trying to cut out fat. You need fat. And so many of us are trying to cut out carbs. Your cells actually need some carbs, not a ton, but they actually need some carbs. That's where they derive glucose from. Your cells need glucose in order to provide the cell energy to work properly. So you got to think in terms of that. You do need protein, but it's not the entire story. In fact, what happens is that everybody is so focused in on how much protein that they're taking in, and oh my God, that's not a good shake, because you only have how much protein in that shake? Oh, well, see, that's not a good shake. Is that what you're using to determine if that's a good meal replacement type of shake or a protein kind of a shake? You need to take a look at the quality of the protein that is in that shake. It's the quality, or even if you're looking at the amount, what is the activity level of that person and what is their age? That is really what you're keying in on. Because if you're consuming more protein than you really should be, what happens? The building blocks of proteins, or the building blocks of muscles, are amino acids. Amino acids, see, that's the word in there, acid. If you're eating too much protein, acid burns things. And if too much protein is in your body, you are literally burning yourself from the inside out. Do you know what actually happens? Your body is smart. It tries to buffer that situation. And how it does that, it actually starts to pull calcium out of the bones to buffer that acid. And you know what happens then if you've pulled out too much calcium from your bones? You get osteoporosis. See, you help one thing, you think you're helping one thing, and you're hurting another. And what happens beyond that, as far as the buffering system, it actually tries to pull out sodium and potassium and magnesium from other parts. And if you remember from one of my other videos, those things are electrolytes. And if you are robbing electrolytes from all these other areas to help buffer the acid situation that you've created by eating and consuming too much protein, you start to not feel well. And your body overall starts to become inflamed, whether it be your muscles, whether it be even your liver, because this is all toxic stuff. You wonder sometimes when you get liver problems, but I don't drink, you say. I don't do any bad things. Well, how much protein are you consuming? Do you know how much protein you really need? Because if you're trying to say, well, my protein shake has more protein, Well, see, you should be deriving protein from what you're eating throughout the whole day, not just in a shake, because is the shake providing you with all these other essential things that your cell needs? If you make your your cells healthy and happy, you are going to be healthy and happy. Think about the physiological system and your cells. Eat for your cells, not for the hype. All right? So I want to show you a formula, because you're saying by now, okay, I get what you're saying, but how much protein do I need? Because on average, the average woman needs 46 grams of protein in one day, and the average male needs about 56 grams of protein in one day. But let me turn this around. I have a formula that I want you to see. So hang in there for a second. Okay. Now if you can see that you can see the activity level and kind of a little bit of the age located in this form. A sedentary adult, now that could mean somebody that, I hate to say it, but is wheelchair bound, or somebody that is bedridden, or you can actually use the word sedentary to mean, maybe you have a desk job and you don't move much through the day, but you also come home and you sit on the couch and watch TV the rest of the night. That person still needs protein, but they would times 0.4 times their body weight, and that answer is whatever the number of grams they need in that day. The active adult, somebody, I'm just giving examples here. Somebody that, say, is a nurse and they're moving around quite a bit in their job through the day, and then they come home and they're running their kids around to different activities, and then they have to do the house cleaning and the gardening and things like that. So they're an active adult. So their range would be 0.4 to 0.6 times their body weight. So you can see that there's a range here. So that person that may be a little bit more active might be 0.5 or 0.6 times their body weight, and that answer is how many grams of protein they need in a day's time. As far as athletes do require more protein than somebody that is just, doing their activities of daily living, meaning their job as well as what they do at home. So a person that's an athlete needs more protein. So depending on what kind of athlete you are and how much muscle mass you want to build, the range is 0.6 to 0.9 times the person's body weight. The same thing with an adult athlete. So the range is the same. What differs to give the amount of grams would be their body weight. Now, if we used an example of, let's just say, somebody who is in high school and they're a track runner. They want to be a little bit more on the leaner side. So they might want to be on, say, the 0.6 or 0.7 range. But, somebody that's, say, 120 pounds, if we just want to use the range, 120 pounds, an athlete, that would mean that they would, say, 120 times 0.6 is 72 grams, and 120 pounds times 0.9 is 108 grams. So that person would have a range of 72 grams to 108 grams, depending on how much muscle mass they want to build, depending on their activity. If they want more endurance, better strength, then they would need a little bit more on the higher end of grams of protein within a day's time. So I want to turn this back around. So the bottom line, as far as protein, what's the quality of the protein, what's your activity level, and what's your age? It shouldn't just be coming from meat. It shouldn't just be coming from shakes. You need to have a wide range of what you eat as far as food. And you'd be surprised how different foods do have protein in it that you didn't suspect had protein. So begin to take a look at all of these things. This is what I'm trying to educate you in and say, did you know? Did you know how much protein that you need? And did you know that the quality of the protein is more important? And did you know that what your cells need is more important than just the hype of, all this protein that people say that you need. Keep yourself healthy. If you have any questions, I'd love to help you out. That's why we're doing a clean eating program. We want to further your knowledge on information just like this. So look for more information on our clean eating group, and look for more information on Did You Know? It's about staying as healthy as you can for as long as you can. Have a great day, everybody.